Oh shit! That's badass as fuck.
And the student workers need their support.
Don't cross!
Picket line means
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 Don't cross!
Down with the bosses. Up with the workers. Down with the bosses.
When they say that we already make $45,000 a year, which is not the case. There's some of us that are on 12-month appointments, some of us are 9-month appointments. I'm on a 9-month appointment, and we still make $10,000 to $12,000 below what is considered a living wage in New York. Another big thing is dental care, vision care. We have healthcare, but it's not comprehensive right now. There's a lot of stories of people having to pay out of pocket for dental care and vision care, which is very expensive. Columbia has made $3.1 billion this year. Their endowment has grown. And I think our total package for the full 3 years that we're asking for would be like 0.5%. Any block you walk down here, Columbia owns the apartments most likely, and they say they give us subsidized housing. The subsidized housing that I pay for is still astronomical. It's almost $2,000 a month. And so they're saying, yes, we get enough stipend, enough wages, but 40, 50, 60%, depending on what you make, goes right back to Columbia if you live in their housing.
We planned this particular picket line that is bigger today because we received last week an email from HR threatening us from being on strike. They're basically saying that people that are on strike are not going to get appointments for next semester. So for instance, I teach a full class and I already got a class appointed, but they're kind of threatening of taking it away because of my involvement with the strike. This is our 6th week, and it's 6 weeks without pay. I mean, we're really struggling. We have, of course, like donations and that helps us go by, but yeah, we're struggling. But also, I think that we're getting stronger. We're getting more support. And for instance, this HR threat, I feel like backfired. Like a lot of faculty that never expressed support before, after that, we're like, whoa, this is even like a major thing. So I am hopeful that they will move on the table, but so far they have made like very minor concessions and have sold them to the university as big things. For instance, they offered like a $0.5 raise for hourly workers, which is, of course, way below inflation, and it's way below like the rate of the living wage in Europe. So more than 60% of our income goes to pay rent, and in many of the cases it's absurd because the rent goes to Columbia. So Columbia is a landlord as well. They own basically, Upper Manhattan. They're gentrifying like step by step. So they pay us the money and we pay them back basically just to be able to live. I feel like it's very important to communicate the message that the university always try to portray us as being unreasonable, of asking too much. And I think the underlying message of that is that we're not worth dignified living conditions. Because what we're asking is like the minimum.
The school rakes in money from all sorts of sources, whether it's tuition, donations from alumni, or their giant endowment, which, as you might have heard, grew $3.3 billion last year, during a year when most of us saw wage freezes or suffered huge expenses. Instead, Columbia's endowment grew by $3.3 billion, and yet they still deny us access to a living wage to help us buy groceries and afford rent in one of the most expensive cities in the world. The most recent and severe retaliatory threat was that Columbia HR sent out an email last Thursday, I believe, that informed student workers that unless we went off strike by December 10th, which is this Friday, they would rescind our spring appointments, which is what we call our contracts and teaching or RA assignments, and that we would not be appointed in the spring. And so this is a clear retaliatory measure against us exercising our legal right to strike. Many of us had already signed contracts for these jobs, and instead they tell us that if we stop striking while we're in the middle of mediation, unless we stop striking before we have a contract, they will rescind those, or many of us are precariously waiting to get our contracts. And now there are student workers who have been striking and are worried that if they keep striking by Friday, they will lose their contract for the spring.